When was the first time you had a definite encounter, like you could tell for sure that this was a demonic presence? You know, how did that look? How did that feel? How old were you? Just kind of like if you could get into that.
So it happened at night. And for some reason, most of the activity happens in darkness. And I think that's not coincidental, you know.
So most of the encounters that you've had with the demonic
were in the late at night. Late at night. You know, very, very, very rarely would it happen during the daytime. So the first time that it happened, I remember it was in the middle of summertime. It was, you know, in the middle of the day. It was great. It was just an awesome day. I remember we painted our house.
Wait. What if it's in the middle of the day, but you're in a dark place?
Well,
was the reason I'm asking? I'm not nitpicking. I'm just asking. Is it did you notice that they operate in darkness, or are we talking about nighttime?
Well, so I'm going to go into depth about that because, you know, I don't want to confuse anybody. You know, it doesn't mean that demons can't affect somebody during the daytime.
Of course.
But most of the activity that I've personally seen happen throughout the nighttime. And I'll explain why, and I'll explain what I believe, you know, the reasoning behind that is. But this is where everything started for me. And I remember very clearly every single time that I explain the story and I share this with people, it's the exact same thing. And I have the vivid, you know, memory about exactly what happened. And my dad, what he would do is every single summer in the middle of summertime where the weather was perfect, we would all get together and we would all paint the house white. That was like the easiest, cheapest, you know, best way to paint a home. We had a bunch of kids in the house, so we were always, you know, fixing things up. And I remember...
And then trashing them?
What was that?
And then trashing them? And then
right
fixing
back.
them.
And fixing right back up, yeah.
By the way,
cycle.
shout out to the people that are from Ben. God bless you, my brother. Taste and see. That's my wife, Victoria. Yeah. Hey, Victoria. Get well soon.
Yes.
So, continue. Yeah. So you were
good.
trashing, fixing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
how many kids in your family, by the way?
well, there's 15 now. One passed away recently, but there's 10 boys and 6 girls.
Do you hear that, my fellow American citizens? That's a whole nation, right? We call that a tribe.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So imagine people say it takes a village to raise a child.
You had a village.
Yeah, no,
house.
you need more than a village.
Yeah,
exactly. You need more than a village. You need an entire community. Well, and then at that moment, I remember everything very clearly. And at 6 years of age, it's very interesting to remember this at such a young age. But I remember everybody was eating in the kitchen. You know, everybody was at the dinner table. It was kind of really interesting how our house was set up. But we had our dinner table, and everybody was eating at the table. Mm-hmm. And I remember I just randomly had this urge to just leave the table, and I ended up sitting in one of the rooms next to the kitchen. And I laid there on the bed, and I just laid there just at peace. And what was interesting was my spirit came out of my body. It was like an out-of-body experience. It was very, very interesting. And I'm seeing myself come out of my body, and I'm like hovering over the room. It's the first time I've ever experienced anything like this. And I look at my body, and the most interesting thing about this experience was as soon as I left my body and I physically saw myself, the craziest thing happened. I understood what I was looking at. And this child that I was looking at, I knew it was me, but it was a body, it was a child. And then what I understood in the spirit was, innocence. Now, if you were to ask anybody, right? Ask anybody who has, any kids, especially at, 6 years of age, ask them to explain to you what innocence means. A child doesn't understand that.
So you weren't understanding what was happening.
I didn't know what was happening, but
I don't blame it. 6 years old.
It was very different. Like, it wasn't traumatic or it wasn't like scary or anything. It was completely different for me. But here's what's interesting. When I saw my body, I literally saw my body. I was literally like, my spirit was hovering over the room and right above me, just, I don't know, like up to the ceiling. And when I looked at myself, I just understood that the word innocence, if I could explain it, for lack of words, I saw the word innocence on my body. And I understood that what I was looking at was pure innocence. And here's what's crazy. So right after I understood that, it was just a complete, just clean, crystal clear understanding of what I was looking at. And then I guess my spirit kind of like turns and I look and I can see everybody eating at the dinner table. And I'm like, while I was, experiencing this, I kind of wanted to like say hello, but that didn't even it wasn't like a desire. And as I'm looking at the table, I hear this voice, and it says, "This will be the last time that you'll see your family eat in peace together."
Was this like a malicious voice?
It wasn't.
Malevolent?
It wasn't, not at all. And it wasn't scary. It wasn't confusing. I just heard it and I understood it. There was no interaction with this. And as soon as I heard that, I shifted back to looking at my body, and I went right back inside. And I got up, and instead of, if you were to think like anybody else who would experience something like this, it might trip them out. It might make them feel really weird and wanted to know what happened. But for me, it was very interesting. In that moment, something changed in my mind. And I just kept on thinking about what I heard. This will be the last time that your family will eat in peace.
Man, that's not something any of us want to hear.
It's not. I mean, and try to look at it through what I had to go through. A 6-year-old kid, to hear something like that and to be able to understand that's almost impossible to get that from a 6-year-old. And that night was the first time I actually experienced an actual demonic encounter. And I remember
same night.
That night, yes. So I had that by the daytime. I had that experience, and at nighttime,
was there anything that happened during the day?
Nothing. It was just a plain day. It was an amazing day. It was an awesome day. It was really, really interesting. And it was just, man, it's such a good feeling. I remember it was clean. It was like sunny. The house was just freshly painted. It smelled good in there. So my experience throughout the whole day was amazing. And at night, you've seen the Spider-Man, the Venom guy.
I actually shout out to Kingdom Citizen, Aliona. God bless you. No, I haven't.
Well, maybe not necessarily the movie, but
the trailers and stuff. Yeah, I never. Yeah,
you're familiar.
Guilty. I didn't see it. Okay.
But you're familiar with what that Venom does, right? So the second that
isn't he the black Spider-Man?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Versus the red one. So they're like are they like alter? Well, I don't know.
Well, so in the Spider-Man, the Venom is actually this sticky substance that as soon as it attaches to hit the body,
that's the Venom.
Yes, takes over the human body, and it transforms him into some supernatural, super powerful being. Like his mouth opens, unnaturally. A super vicious face, super intense, super strong. Anyways, so that night, just to keep that in mind, so the Venom, right, in Spider-Man, how it attaches itself to the body. That night, I was laying down, and I mean, you got to understand that we had a big family. I was 6. I'm 6 from the oldest. So every single year, my mom was pregnant. So we always there was a child in every single grade.
She was pregnant for like 16 years.
20 something. Yeah, my mom lost a couple kids too. And so you have to understand that this house that we lived in was a 3-bedroom home. We had 3-bedroom. Yeah.
And I thought I had it bad.
Yeah.
I actually had my own room.
Wow.
Someone else always has it worse.
No. Well, no, I don't mean my childhood. I meant right now, my kids. We have 7 kids, and so there's 3 in 1. Our oldest has his own room, and then our 2 girls have their own room. And I don't know where Ezekiel. Oh yeah, Ezekiel's in our room. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when I was growing up, when we built our house, I had my own room. Wow, it was great. So.
I wouldn't know what that's like, but I had fun though. Great. I mean, imagine you had a whole bunch of brothers in one room. Like you would stay up late, you would have fun, tell stories.
4 people on the top bunk.
Yeah, we had 3 bunk beds. I mean, can you imagine 6 beds in one?
That
small
probably would have
room?
been fun.
It was awesome. We actually got to bond. But here's what's interesting. Prior to all of this, our family was actually really close. We would always talk about things. We would always, go together. We would always do stuff with each other.
How old was your oldest sibling when you were 6?
So there's Cornelia, Tabitha, Abel, Naomi, Reuben. So I think it was about 12.
Really?
He was about 12 years of age, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Cornelia, my oldest brother.
Where are you in the line?
I'm 6 from the oldest.
You're 6 from the oldest.
Yep. And there's 10 younger.
So was your mom literally getting pregnant?
My mom was pregnant every single year. Yeah.
That's what I said. She was pregnant for like 20 years.
Yeah.
She's just as
I mean, my mom, same thing, but my mom did have a few breaks. But I'm wondering, was it from Cornelio or how
say his name? All the way down to. Yeah. So.
Wait, what's your oldest name?
So his name is Cornelio.
Corey.
or Corey.
Corneliu. So not Cornelius.
No.
I know that's
Which
what my
wouldn't be
Cornelia-
surprising.
Well, what's interesting is my parents actually named everybody according to the Bible. So everybody in my family, every single name is from the Bible.
Biblical
Well,
names.
Yeah.
Cornelius in Romania, isn't it Cornelius?
Corneliu. Well, so he doesn't have the S, and I'm not sure the reason
That would have been so
behind
much
that.
cooler,
But yeah.
though.
Well, I mean, he's still pretty. He's an awesome guy, though. He's a super
Yeah.
cool guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
You met
so
him.
I've only... No, I didn't.
You did it?
He's
been here.
come up here.
What?
Yeah,
Dark
he
hair.
came here for the
Okay,
4th
but
of
I
July.
didn't- But I didn't... wait, what did he come up here for?
He came up here for the 4th of July last year.
Okay, but you didn't introduce me to your...
Maybe, but he's coming here this year too, so you'll be able to meet him.
Like, there's a bunch that the only ones that I've met was...
Benny.
Hold on, let me try to remember. Yeah, Benny, right? I know Benny. I've met Abel. I've met
Oh, yeah.
Joey. Well, I know Joey. Joel. Phoebe, right? Phoebe, right?
One more sister.
Oh, Abigail.
Yes.
Yes,
Abigail.
wow, good
Yes,
memory.
Yes.
You remember Abel?
I remember Abel,
Yeah.
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 The guy with the big chest.
Yeah. Big guy.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, so you keep in mind that there's a big family in the house, and with big families, especially in a smaller home, you would hear them snoring, waking up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom. There's always noises at night, but this night was completely different. It was almost like a movie, and I remember just sitting in bed and trying to go to bed, but I can't stop thinking about what happened earlier that day, and I'm laying down in the bed, and all of a sudden, it's so quiet. It was uncomfortable. It's like too quiet, like bad quiet. It was something that I wasn't used to. We were always used to just noise. And it was as if you could drop a pin needle on the other side of the house, you would hear it. That's how quiet it was. And I felt something was wrong, and something on the inside was it was kind of like troubling. It was like almost like fear, like something's wrong, something's different, something's weird.
It was dead silent.
It was completely dead. It's like a black hole. Like just nothing was alive. It was like dark.
Oh, hey, we got a question there. When this happened, did you tell anyone what happened?
Oh, yeah.
In that, wait, when
Yep.
you had that vision.
Not the vision. Not the vision. I didn't share that with anybody. Nobody in my family knew about this. But what was happening at night? This is what I'm about to explain this. So I'm about to answer your question about what happened in that moment. So, as I was laying there, this fear started to come over me, and it was very uncomfortable. And this is the moment that I understood that fear is what demons love to feed off. It's like energy. It's like what attracts them.
Was it
I was awake.
sleep paralysis?
Nope. I was awake. I was completely awake, wide awake, bushy-eyed, just wide awake. And I remember sitting there, and I had my eyes open. I'm like, why can't I go to sleep? And why am I feeling this? And keep in mind, I'm still 6. And I have my eyes open, and from the corners of the walls, I started seeing like black tar, just like it looks like it was bleeding.
Like that venom.
Like that venom. You don't hear stuff like this. People don't talk about this kind of stuff. Now, imagine trying to explain something like this as a 6-year-old to your parents.
They'll just say like, "Oh yeah,
Go to bed. You're okay."
Yeah.
Just blah blah blah. It was a dream.
Yeah.
Now, when that happened, I watched this thing and I saw it, and it paralyzed me. I've never experienced anything like that, and it's drooping down from all the corners. I'm like, it's coming for me. I had this I knew on the inside that this thing is coming for me, and I looked at everybody in the room sleeping, and it would ignore them. Whatever it was, it ignored them, and it came to the bed. It climbed up on the bed, and it wrapped me, and it would suffocate me, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. I couldn't do anything. But I physically saw this. Now, people who talk about sleep paralysis, it's almost the
I was about
exact
to
same,
say, yeah.
right? It's almost the exact same, but not everybody sees it in that way. Sometimes somebody hears something, and it traumatizes them, and it causes them to go in such shock that fear overtakes them and paralyzes them.
Yeah, like a sound.
Yeah,
Something happens and then
anything.
boom, you're
It could be
paralyzed.
absolutely anything.
Which I believe sleep paralysis is demonic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know there's something in the brain, this and that. I'm sure that actually does happen.
Yeah.
But the root is still spiritual.
Yeah, and
it's actually happening.
Absolutely. And that night, it was the craziest thing to experience something like that. And I woke as soon as that thing fell off of me, and it disappeared.
How long did that last?
For I think about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
from the moment that I saw it till when it left. And here's what's interesting. So with this going on, I was so scared and so traumatized. I knew that I couldn't stay in that bed anymore, and I ran straight to my mom. And when I came up to my mom, I would shake her. I was, screaming and crying, and I'm trying to explain something I've never experienced before. I don't know how to explain tar. I'm a 6-year-old kid. I don't know how to explain these things. And I remember seeing my mom. My mom was so tired. My mom never had a good night's sleep. So she was always just like...
I'd imagine not.
It was bad. It was very bad. It was really rough. I felt so bad for her. I didn't want to wake her up, but I was so scared. I didn't know who else to go to. And when I came and I talked to her, and I was like, Mom, Mom, Mom. And she's looking at me. She's all like scared. And she's like, we have eye contact. And she sees that I'm trying to explain, but I can't. I couldn't find the words. She's like, just go to bed. Just go to bed. Everything's going to be okay. She was exhausted.
Yeah.
So now I don't blame my mom for this. My mom has, nothing. She didn't do anything wrong. But for me, what hurt the most was that my mom didn't have an answer for that. She didn't know what it was. She couldn't understand what it was. She saw that I was troubled, but she didn't have an answer. And I was forced to try to go back to the room. And as soon as I stepped foot in our room, I sensed that presence still there. And ever since then, my family knows. I'm pretty sure my family's probably going to end up watching this live too. But my family remembers me always sleeping on the couch. And there's a reason for it. Because every single time that I've tried to go back to sleep in that room, the exact same thing happened over and over. But from that day, every single night, I was tormented by different demons in different ways. Different styles of demons, different powers, different forms of attack. Sometimes, they would scream so loud, I'm the only one hearing it, and I felt like a crazy I felt like a crazy person.
Can you describe just if I know it's just I don't know if it's like if it's difficult to go back to that, you know what I mean? But maybe somebody will have had experienced the same thing, So can you maybe describe a few different kinds? The screaming thing, I've never heard you say that. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, so...
Because usually I've seen, like, visuals, right? People see something.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody ever say that they actually heard what they're seeing, scream at them.
Yeah, so this specific one, when it came, I believe it might have been the night after or a few nights after that, but... Every single night, it was something different. It was never the same thing. And, as time went by, it would get worse and worse and worse to where there would have been multiple demons, sometimes 3 at once. And I never understood why it kept on happening, but it was consistent until I left the house. Now, there was this one demon that when I was trying to go to sleep, I remember I was trying to sleep in the living room on a couch. And I'm trying to fall asleep, and I can just hear like very faint laughter, just like uncomfortable, just like really just nasty weird. And the sound had so much weight. It literally, to best describe it, something that was on a spiritual level and to put it into like a physical way, it was as if you were to take a towel and drench it in oil, and that was what came upon you, but in the form of a sound, and it just coated you. It was so heavy, it was nasty.
That's a pretty good visual.
Yeah, it was very different,
Yeah.
but this, it wasn't something that I saw. It's something that I felt, and I heard this. So there wasn't a visual, but I felt it and I heard it, and it started off like super super quiet laughter,
Subtle.
yeah, just super quiet, and it got loud to where the laughter got so loud it would turn to a scream, and it would be something like you would hear in a horror movie, just like this screech, and just like a really sharp, nasty, just like super uncomfortable like pitch. And that's what paralyzed me in that moment. And I remember just like it would seep through my ears into my skull, and from the core I was shaking. It was so much torment. I was stuck. I couldn't do anything about it. And after that happened, when I went back to my mom, she would tell me to say the blood of Jesus. But I didn't understand. I never understood what the blood of Jesus was.
When did she actually, or anybody, I guess in this case, since you said your mom, when did she actually start taking it seriously? Like, there's something happening with this kid.
Well, it was the first few nights. I mean, okay, so you have kids too, right? So you already know how your kids act on the daily, right? They cause some trouble, they have fun, they go do this, they're tired, they take nap time, they're hungry, whatever. But something to change in that routine, you're gonna see it because you know your kids. You see your kid troubled, it doesn't look like that's your kid. It doesn't seem like that's your kid. Mm-hmm. And I think it was probably a week in of this torment that I actually, when I came up to my mom, she's like, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And I still couldn't explain to her. You know, the way I just explained about this specific one, I didn't have the words to explain then. I didn't understand how to put these things together. And when I explained to my mom, the best that I could is, you know, there's this thing and blah, blah. And she's like, start saying the blood of Jesus. Say, in the name of Jesus, the blood of Jesus, the blood of Jesus. That's all I remember her telling me. And I tried that and it didn't work. And every single night, every time that it would visit me, or the different ones, or all of them, every single time that I would call and cry out to the blood of Jesus, nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing. And it was very interesting because in our church, it was taboo to talk about demons.